Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Let's get to the news. Alright, Eagles fans, today we've got some serious news coming out of Novacare that could shake up the team's wide receiver room and potentially their entire roster strategy heading into the regular season. It's about Johnny Wilson, the promising young wide receiver out of Florida State, who's been turning heads this offseason and showing a lot of promise. But unfortunately, during Tuesday's practice, Wilson suffered an injury that has everyone on edge. Reports say he was carted off the field after what looked like a pretty serious left leg injury. And let's be honest, that's never good news in football, especially at this stage of the preseason when every snap counts and roster battles are heating up. What exactly happened? Well, during a drill at practice, Wilson was rolled up on by offensive lineman Brett Toth. It's one of those freak accidents you see sometimes, a collision that just doesn't look good when you're watching it unfold. Wilson was limping heavily, unable to put any pressure on his left foot, which is always a red flag. The fact that he had to be carted off the field indicates the injury might be more serious than initially thought. And that's a huge concern for the Eagles because Wilson has been making some significant strides in camp. Before this incident, he was looking like a lock to make that 53-man roster, especially considering how he's been flashing in the preseason. And that's what makes this even more frustrating. Wilson, a sixth-round pick in the 2024 draft, out of Florida State, had a bit of a slow start during training camp, which is pretty common for rookies adjusting to the NFL. But as preseason games went on, he started to turn heads. In his first appearance against the Cincinnati Bengals, Wilson caught 3 passes for 73 yards, showing off his impressive size and athleticism. Standing at 6'6" and weighing around 228 pounds, he's a matchup nightmare for defenders, especially with his ability to win jump balls one-on-one. That kind of physicality and catch radius is exactly what the Eagles need to diversify their passing attack. Remember, this isn't just about his raw talent. Wilson adds a different element to the offense. His ability to block and be a deep threat could be crucial, especially with how the Eagles have been building their offensive identity. Now, Wilson's role was expected to grow this season. Although he barely played in the second preseason game against the Cleveland Browns, that might have been a sign that the coaching staff was confident in his spot on the roster. He was sitting behind A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Jahan Dotson in the depth chart, but that's no surprise given those guys are established stars. Wilson was the type of player who could provide that next-level size and red zone threat, making him a valuable weapon for Jalen Hurts and the offense as a whole. But here's where things get tricky. After the Eagles traded for Houston Texans receiver John Metchie over the weekend, the wide receiver picture was already a bit crowded. Metchie's addition brought more competition to a room that includes Wilson, Ainias Smith, and undrafted rookie Darius Cooper. Initially, it looked like Wilson, Smith, and Cooper would be fighting for the final roster spot, with Wilson's versatility and big play potential giving him an edge. Now, though, this injury throws a big wrench into those plans. We're all waiting to hear more about the severity of Wilson's injury, but it's safe to say that this could have a significant impact on his chances of sticking around. If the injury is serious enough to sideline him for a good part of the season or even longer, the Eagles will have to rethink their roster strategy at wide receiver. They might look more toward veterans or other young players to fill that spot. It's a reminder of how fragile this game can be, especially for rookies trying to carve out their place. Every practice, every preseason snap, is so critical, and injuries like these can change the course of a young player's career in an instant. Talking about the bigger picture, the Eagles have been building a very promising team, especially on offense. Jalen Hurts has taken significant steps forward in his development, and the addition of players like Metchie, along with the return of key veterans, has made the offense look dynamic and versatile. but the depth at wide receiver is a crucial part of their success. Losing Wilson now, even temporarily, is a setback, but it also underscores the importance of having reliable depth and the ability to adapt quickly. The Eagles' front office and coaching staff have always been strategic, especially when it comes to roster management. They've shown a lot of confidence in their young players and have been patient with rookies, knowing that development takes time. But injuries test that patience and force difficult decisions. The coaching staff will likely evaluate Wilson's injury severity as soon as possible, and that will determine how the team adjusts. If he's out for an extended period, it could mean promoting someone else from the practice squad or making a trade, or even giving more opportunities to other young receivers already in camp. This situation also highlights the importance of the preseason games. They're not just about evaluating talent, they're about building chemistry, testing players' durability, and making those final roster decisions. Wilson's performances against Cincinnati and Cleveland had shown promise, and it's unfortunate that an injury could now cut that potential short before the regular season even begins. For fans, it's a roller coaster. You get excited about the progress of these young players, especially someone like Wilson, who has that rare combination of size, speed, and hands. And then, suddenly, you're faced with the reality that injuries are part of the game, and they can change everything in a heartbeat. It's a reminder of how tough and unpredictable this sport is, but it's also what makes it so compelling. Every snap, every play, every injury has the potential to shape the destiny of a team, and right now, the Eagles are navigating through some rough waters in their wide receiver room. Looking ahead, the team's medical staff will do everything they can to get Wilson back on the field as soon as possible. Fans are holding their breath, hoping for good news, because Wilson's potential is undeniable. The coaching staff's next steps will be crucial in determining how the rest of the preseason unfolds and what kind of roster they'll be able to field for Week 1. The depth and resilience of this Eagles team have been tested before, and it's in moments like these that true team identity is forged. Will they rally around this setback, or will it open the door for other players to step up and seize opportunities? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, the Philadelphia Eagles are always about pushing forward, no matter what obstacles come their way. They've built a roster full of talented, hungry players, and even in tough times, they find ways to adapt and overcome. The NFC East is a competitive division, no doubt about it, and rivals will be watching closely to see how the Eagles respond to this injury news. It's a reminder that in football, nothing is guaranteed, and every season is a story of resilience, perseverance, and sometimes, a little bit of luck. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this injury situation with Johnny Wilson? Do you think it will impact the team's plans for the upcoming season? Are you worried about what this might mean for Wilson's future or the team's depth at wide receiver? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Eagles. Remember, we're all in this together, and your voice is a vital part of the fan community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Philadelphia Eagles news. We'll keep you informed, engaged, and ready for whatever comes next in this exciting NFL season.